Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 1 of my new podcast called the JamCast, where we're going to talk. If you read the description, we are going to be talking about football from around the world, in the world of football. And also, we're going to talk about results, upcoming fixtures, teams, players, you name it. Anything to do with football, you can ask me that question, which will be on the basis. Let's have a good time. Let's enjoy it. Put your questions forward, and let's enjoy a very, very good episode. This will be about an hour-long episode, I think. At least, I'll try and do an hour-long episode if I can, or half an hour, depending on how many people turn up. But one thing I will say is we are now live. Live. But hopefully you guys do enjoy the stream. You got to keep your questions coming so that we can get questions rolling. So I'm just putting a post out on the channel, on the community tab, just to let you guys know that we are now live. So, just keep your questions coming. Let's answer some questions. If you guys want me to answer any questions, put your questions down in the chat. Hopefully it will be an enjoyable one, folks. Because I want it to be enjoyable for you guys to enjoy. But I also want it to be for everyone else to come and enjoy a very good, to end up doing results. And just put a post out on my Instagram to let you guys know that we're now live on YouTube. And this is for the podcast. This is the first episode of the JamCast. Come and give your questions, have your say, and all that jazz. I'm happy. I'm happy for you guys. We're going to go and have a good time. We're going to have some good questions. And hopefully we'll chat football. That's all I can say. But keep your questions rolling. We'll have a good time. We'll have some good questions. And hopefully we'll get rolling. We'll get some music on the go. I'll try and get some music on the go. So guys, keep your music, keep your questions coming, and we'll answer as many questions as I can throughout the stream. So you guys keep it rolling, because we need to keep going. So guys, answer some questions. Chelsea lost 2-1 to Brighton yesterday. Wasn't the best performance from the boys. That wasn't a very good result. My own town club Chesterfield won 3-2 at home to Eastleigh, but they didn't make that any easier than said and done. Napoli drew 0-0 at home to Hellas Verona, which was a very, very boring game. And Sheffield United won 4-1 at home to Cardiff City. Just ask me what game you want to talk about, and we'll talk about the team, the players, whatever you name it. And at the moment, we are not doing well. For me as a Chelsea fan, we're not really in... For me, I'm not really in the best of moods, because every time we seem to try and do something, it always seems to backfire on us just spectacularly. But I'm not going to play any music that is not mine to use. But we'll keep it going. I'm in that sort of frame of mind. Hope you guys do enjoy the stream. So guys, keep your questions are coming. Like, sub and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I can't play certain music because I don't want to get copyrighted. So guys, keep your questions are coming. Chelsea, we played absolutely shocking against a very, very good Brighton side. We made Brighton look very, 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 very good. We were just poor. We just couldn't get off a first gear. We weren't at the races, and that's just Chelsea Football Club for you. We just can't seem to score a goal. We can't seem to win a game. We can't seem to get any points at the moment, no matter how hard we try. And now, if Lampard got home, I thought, but I got the sack. We'll have our hope. Nope. Nope. Not working like that whatsoever. So hopefully we actually do something in the summer and actually change the fortunes of this club around. And everything could be a good in the end. We just got to keep plowing along, do what we need to do, and hope for the best in the future with how we do. But we can only do what's thrown. We can only do what's thrown in front of us at this moment in time. But that's Chelsea Football Club for you. It's just like, I want people to enjoy the stream for what it is and what it is. At the moment, we are live. We're going to hopefully... And then also, another shocking football, if you guys want to know. If you guys do not know, Monza went to the San Siro to play Inter Milan and won 1-0. Whoever thought Monza would go and beat Inter Milan at the San Siro? You never thought you'd be seeing that. And at the moment, Arsenal are, at the moment, 2-1 up against West Ham. So guys, we just got to keep doing this and that and t'other. and just learn. In certain ways, I want us to do what we can do, and we get a good result, and we do this and that and t'other. But we just need to keep pressing along in the manner that we are, and do what we need to do at the end of the day, because that's all that we can do, is do our own bit for the cause. That's all we can do, and press along and do this and that. That's all I want Chelsea to do. I want Chelsea to prove that we are up there. It was, like you say, it's never a dull day when you're in the Premier League. But we're just waiting now for the confirmation. It's still Arsenal 2, West Ham 1, and it is Girona 0, Lecce 0. In Bundesliga, it is Werder Bremen 0, Freiburg 0. In Serie A, it is Lecce 0, Lecce 1, Sampdoria 1. And 51 minutes in at the moment, it is Torino 0, Salernitana 1. So hopefully it'll be a very good thing. Hopefully you guys go and watch the hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream for what it is, for what it's worth. But we're here to chat football. We're here to have a bit of a chat up. And everything else. I want you guys to put your question in the chat. We're now live on the channel. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. But at the moment, I want us to enjoy what... I want you guys to enjoy the stream for what it is. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. But at the moment, we've only got one view, which is very disappointing. So it might be a really short podcast, might be half an hour long or something like that. In the Napoli game, when we played Hellas Verona, we were absolutely shocking. We didn't look like we got out of... very disappointing. We didn't look like we got out of first gear. Hellas Verona looked like they were going to be the team to get the winning goal at some point, but we should have. When Osimhen at the bar, that was one of the brighter moments of the game. Apart from that, there's not much to talk about other than this and that. And at the moment, it's not really been the biggest spark in what has been a very good season for Napoli. They got AC Milan on Tuesday night. Not going to be easy said than done. Welcome the two of you in the chat. Put your question in the chat, and I'll answer as many questions as I can, folks. We are here to talk about football, so you can ask me anything to do with football, to do with the games, the results, the upcoming fixtures, teams, players, you name it. Put your questions in. Have your say, folks. Get your questions in the chat. And we'll have a good old conversation, folks. And we'll have a very good convo. So, Chelsea lost 2-1 to Brighton, which was I was expecting it from the very offset. Napoli drew 0-0 to Hellas Verona. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting them to come back a boy to get a bit more momentum going into the AC Milan game on the Tuesday. Couldn't get a goal against them on Hellas Verona. Hearts lost 1-0 to Hibs. That was going to be expected because it must be a bit of a downer after having the manager sacked during the week. They got the manager sacked and Stephen Naismith took charge, and apparently they played absolutely shocking against Hibs. And Sheffield Wednesday lost 3-2 away at Burton Albion. In League One, Sheffield United won 4-1 at home to Cardiff City in the Championship. And Chesterfield, my hometown, won 3-2 at home, dramatically, at home to Eastleigh in the National League. So give your questions in the chat, folks. And let's have a bit of a good conversation starter, whatever you want it. Put your question in the chat. You can ask me any questions, anything. We're talking about football from around the world, to any team, player, opinions. Have you say, I'm happy to answer anything that comes my way. So it might be a half an hour podcast, might be an hour, depending on how many people are in the chat. So keep your questions a coming, because we need them. We need them to keep a coming, because that's what we do on the podcast. We keep a coming, or we try. But what can we do, folks? We're going to try our best. We're going to try this and that and other. Putting some of my own music in the background for you folks, so we're not literally talking in silence. So keep your questions a coming. Put down what team you support, and we'll have a bit of a conversation about them. So if you guys want to put anything down, I'm happy to answer any questions. You know, it is a podcast at the end of the day, so have your say. That's all I'm just waiting for, folks. You guys have your say. We're going to have a good convo. Because I want you guys to get involved. It is talking about one game at the moment that is playing at the moment, which is, it's Arsenal 2, West Ham 2, Jarrod Bowen with the goal. Wow. Arsenal were 2-0 inside 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it's now 2-2. Wow. What way can that game swing? Is the title going to swing each way on that? We don't know. But Arsenal, I'll give them credit. Been playing very, very well in the Premier League. Top of the league. Been that way all season. Doesn't look like falling apart anytime soon. But they are lacking in points, because they are conceding goals and are dropping points. Man City are scoring goals and gaining points, but the most important thing, Man City, example, are gaining 3 points. Arsenal are only gaining 1. If it ends like this in the last 2 games, so there is a bit of a difference in that sense for Arsenal, but it all depends on how the games follow. But it'd be interesting to see how the title race, guys, put down in the chat. What do you guys think about the title race? Do you guys think it's going to go the whole way? Do you guys think it's going to go to the final day of the season? So put down what you guys think. Do you guys think it's going to go to the end of the season? Do you guys think Arsenal are going to win the league a bit earlier? Or do you think Man City are going to win the league? Put down who you guys think is going to win the Champions League, the FA Cup. So at the moment, we're doing this and t'other. We're doing all right. We're just wanting to watch the highlight of Chesterfield game against Eastleigh from yesterday. 2 goals that we conceded were very scrappy goals that should never have been conceded, ever. We literally just gave them... The keeper literally... First one was just a melee in the box, and these 3 players slammed it home. The second one was that the Eastleigh player had a shot on goal, and literally a player managed to run onto that ball that was saved, parried away by the keeper, So unfortunately for the keeper, he got a bit unfortunate on that one. But what can you do at the end of the day? But you got to play better. You got to play better for Chesterfield. But then all of a sudden, Ryan Colclough scores. 75 minutes played. Ryan Colclough scores 2-1. You think, oh, there's a chance. There's 50 minutes to go. You think we can get back in it. Then in the 90th minute, Ryan Colclough at the far post taps it home. 2-2. You think, could we go on and get a winner? Oh, and Andrew Dallas goes and hits one in the bottom left-hand corner and makes it Chesterfield very easily too. It all goes mental at the technique and takes Chesterfield into pole position in third in the National League ahead of Woking, who got mashed 3-0 by Notts County. So that means if Chesterfield in the next 3 games can avoid defeat in all 3, they will finish third in the National League this season. And what an achievement that will be for the club. After last season we finished 7th, just in the playoff on the final day. But that is what football's all about. You can be 2-0 down, playing absolutely shocking football, and all of a sudden you go and do that and score 3 goals in the last 15 minutes and win a game. Wow, wow, and wow. But guys, keep your questions coming. I want you guys to answer questions. If you guys want to put your own questions into the chat, I will answer as many questions as I can. If you guys want to, you might want to put one in. You might want to put one in, folks, just because. Get yourself involved. So guys, keep putting your question in the chat, like, sub, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Just putting so keep your questions coming. So put your questions in the chat, folks, for your chance to get involved in the podcast. So your questions will be answered during the podcast. Just keep your questions coming. Like, sub, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Napoli, they played alright against Hellas Verona. They just didn't create enough chances to trouble anything. But that's just Napoli for you at the end of the day. That's all you can ask. Oh, guys, put down in the chat what you guys think of Ben Foster going to Wrexham. That'll be an interesting discussion for you folks. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the podcast. So keep your questions coming, folks. This is the episode 1 of the JamCast. It won't be weekly. It'll be only on weeks where I've literally got not a lot on football-wise to have content for you folks. I'm just putting a poll in the chat for you guys to vote. And for the one that you pick, folks, put down your reason. For your reason for picking it. And your choices are: yes, it's awesome. No, it's rubbish. You could do better. But you have to explain your reasons for it, because then it could then help me out in the future. Just keep your questions coming, and we're going to have a very good time. And I am being very honest about that because I want us to have a really good time, really enjoy it. And when I mean enjoy it, I really do mean it. So guys, vote in the chat. Are you enjoying the stream? Yes, it's awesome. No, it's rubbish. You could do better. So, hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the stream. I would highly appreciate it because it's the very first episode of the JamCast. We're having a very good conversation. If a lot of you are not going to turn up, then I might as well. But this will go out as a full episode at the end when it gets processed and everything on YouTube, and it will go out as a full episode for you guys to enjoy the conversation, all the banter, all the laughs. But hopefully, is the scoreline change? It is still Arsenal 2, West Ham 2 in the Premier League, folks. Let's see what else there is, folks. It is Torino 1, Salernitana 1 in Serie A. At the moment playing in Ligue 1, it's Auxerre 2, Nantes 1, Brest 1, Nice 0, Clermont Foot 2, Angers 1, Strasbourg 1, Ajaccio 0. So keep your questions coming. And also in the Scottish Premiership, it finished Kilmarnock 1, Celtic 4, and the semi-final of the Women's FA Cup, it's Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 0. So keep your questions coming, and I'll happily enjoy what comes the way of what comes. I'm happy to answer anything that comes my way, but this might be a half an hour episode just to start off with, folks. Half an hour podcast just talking about football. In Spain, you got Barcelona, you got Real Madrid. We're going to have a look at yesterday quickly before we maybe end the stream. The shocking thing yesterday, folks, was Spurs losing 3-2 dramatically to Bournemouth. I did not expect that yesterday as a shock result. Real Madrid won 2-0 away at Cadiz. I think, if I was correct, Barcelona actually played on the Monday. I don't know when Barcelona play actually, folks. Apologies for that. I'm just going to keep checking. Funnily enough, Barcelona don't play this weekend. It's a bit weird, that is. We got Liverpool versus Barcelona playing at the moment. They are 40 minutes into their game today. It's Barcelona 0, Getafe 0. Then tomorrow you got Leeds versus Liverpool in the Premier League. And then later on today, you got Nottingham Forest versus Man United, which I just think Man United are going to win that. Nottingham Forest are going to not have a lot in the tank, but if Nottingham Forest gets something from it, then that's a very good result for Nottingham Forest. We'll look at some results for you in League 1, because there was some actual quite high-scoring games, which was, I'll run off a couple of them for you folks, which was Burton 3, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Forest Green Rovers 1, Barnsley 5, Charlton 0, Ipswich 6, and Fleetwood Town 5, Accrington Stanley 2. And in League One, we had some slight entertaining games. We had Harrogate Town 2, Doncaster 2, Bradford 3, Rochdale 0. And Leyton Orient 2, St United 0. And in Bundesliga yesterday, we had some good results. We had Hoffenheim 1, Bayern Munich 1, Leipzig 3, Augsburg 2, and Stuttgart 3, Dortmund 3. So far, there's been some good results this weekend. And then you had in League One yesterday, you had Rennes 3, Rams 0, and PSG 3, Lens 1. And you had some entertaining games in the National League. Chesterfield 3, Italy 2, Dorking Wanderers 3, Altrincham 2. You had Halifax Town 0, 3, Maidstone 0, and Bournemouth 3, Gateshead 0, Solihull Moors 2, Yeovil 2, and you had Notts County 3, Woking 0, and Torquay United 3, York City 2. See if there's any big results in National League North from yesterday for you guys to tell you about. With Blythe Spartans 2, Cushing Ashton 2, Brackley Town 3, Darlington 0, Chester 2, Farsley Celtic 2, Kidderminster Harriers 3, Telford 0, Kingsland Town 3, Southport 2, and Spennymoor Town 4, Kettering Town 2. So there were some entertaining games in the National League North. Let's see if there were some entertaining games in the National League South. There was Bath City 4, Concord Rangers 0, Chelmsford City 5, Hungerford Town 1, Oxford City 5, Dover Athletic 1, Eastbourne Borough 3, Hemel Hempstead 0, Ebbsfleet 3, Chesham 0, St Albans 3, Welling United 0. So you have some entertaining games there in that league to begin with. Let's see if some entertaining games in the Isthmian. The Premier Division, you had Billericay 3, Margate 0, Bishop Stortford 4, Enfield Town 1. You had Brighton Sea Region 2, Corinthian Casuals 2. You had Hastings 3, Bognor Regis Town 2, Lewis 4, Harringay Borough 0, Potters Bar Town 3, Carshalton Athletic 1, Wingate and Finchley 4, Herne Bay 1. Jeez. We're going down into the Northern Premier Division, and this is in the English leagues, folks. You had Ashton United 2, Lancaster City 4, Hay United 4, Marine 0. Not a lot of entertaining games. I'm just trying to see what entertaining games there were for you folks. We also have another. This is from the Southern Premier Division Central. We're going down some of the leagues and telling you which of the entertaining fixtures from this weekend. Ilkeston Town 2, Nuneaton Borough 3, Needham Market 3, Basford United 2, Tamworth 3, Leiston 1. Then in the Southern Premier Division South, you had Beaconsfield Town 3, North Lee 3, Bracknell Town 3, Gosport Borough 1, Chesham United 3, Salisbury 1, Dorchester Town 3, Hendon 2. You had Hanwell Town 3, Winchester City 0, and Swindon Supermarine 2, Yate Town 1. In the Scottish Premiership, you had Hearts 0, Ibs 1, Livingston 2, St Johnstone 0, Motherwell 1, Dundee United 2, and Rangers 5, St Mirren 2. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. Like, sub, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Hit that like button. And everything is a good one. Let's have a look into what other fixtures there are on here, folks, that I can do for you. You had in the A-League, Central Coast Mariners 1, Melbourne City 1. You had Western Sydney Wanderers 2, Melbourne Victory 1. And in the Women's A-League, you had quarterfinal stages of their playoffs. Melbourne City 3, Melbourne Victory 3. I think Melbourne Victory won on penalties, I think. Or I assume. So guys, keep your questions coming. Like, sub, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Put down what teams you support. We'll have a bit of a discussion about them and stuff like that. At the moment, we'll have a look at the fixtures of how they're looking at the moment today. Because it is still Arsenal 2, West Ham 2. And it's Getafe 0, Barcelona 0. It is now Werder Bremen 1, Freiburg 0. And it's still Torino 1, Salernitana 1. So, keep your questions coming, folks. So, see what else. And it's now in the semi-final of the Women's FA Cup. Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1. So let's see if, at this moment in time, folks, let's see if it is any news for questions. So we'll have a look at some news. Osimhen could not ask for more from Napoli as transfer speculation increases. Amidst his surprise form this season, plenty of interest has surfaced around Victor Osimhen, but the Napoli striker intends to stay put. Let's see if there is any other questions. This was 5 hours ago, announced by 90 Min. Todd Boehly confronted by Chelsea fans following Brighton humiliation. Let's have a read for you folks. Chelsea fans let their anger feelings towards co-owner and chairman Todd Boehly at the end of Saturday's loss to Brighton. Blues were battered by the Seagulls at Stamford Bridge, though the scoreline was only 2-1 in favour of the visitors. Frank Lampard's men were clearly second best throughout. Brighton ended the game with 57% possession and having whacked up 2.94 expected goal compared to Chelsea's 0.54, while the host open came courtesy of a huge deflection of Lewis Dunk. Goals from Danny Welbeck and Giulio Enciso eventually saw Roberto De Zerbi's side turn the game around and leave West London as deserved winners. As tension seemed to reach boiling point in the home end when Todd Boehly was pictured angered with Chelsea fans at full time following their defeat. And he goes, why are Todd Boehly unhappy? Why is Todd Boehly unhappy with Chelsea fans? Boehly's tenure so far at Chelsea has been underlined by his record spending on a large crop of players, leaving the first team squad bloated and in desperate need of trimming. Recent reports have suggested that some of them common training facilities are too small to house everyone on the playing staff. American also made the strange decision to sack Champions League winning coach Thomas Tuchel and replace him with Graham Potter, only to dismiss the ex-Brighton boss recently and rehire Lampard as a caretaker. It drew recent criticism on Wednesday when he predicted that the underdogs Chelsea will beat Real Madrid 3-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu in the first leg of their Champions League quarter-final. The Blues lost 2-1 and Todd Boy became infamous in the Spanish media. Los Blancos visit Stamford Bridge on Tuesday looking to see out the victory, with Chelsea in need of a minor miracle to overturn such a deficit against the reigning champions. And that is true. Chelsea are in danger. It is the true factor of life. We are going to have a look at some other questions. And there's another question for you folks, because this is based on Martinez of Manchester United. After Lisandro Martinez sends a heartfelt message to Man United fans following season-ending injury, which was an injured foot. Lisandro Martinez has spoken publicly for the first time after suffering a season-ending injury. The defender was withdrawn late into Manchester United's 2-2 draw with Seville in the first leg of the Europa League quarter-final on Thursday, falling to the ground and clutching his foot with no one around him. For it was confirmed he did not rupture his Achilles at first feared. Martinez did fracture a metatarsal bone in his foot and will not return till the start of the 2023-24 season. It is brought to a premature end an impressive debut season at Old Trafford, in which the FA Cup, the World Cup winner Man United, end their 6-year trophy drought, winning the Carabao Cup in late February. In a post on social media, Martinez says, "Not the way I imagine what's been a very special season would end, but sometimes we face obstacles along the way that we have to overcome to make us stronger, and we learn from them. I know that I'll be back very soon to go for more. In the meantime, I'll continue to support all my teammates to achieve our objectives. The number of messages and support I've received have been amazing. They've given me the strength and encouragement at this moment. Many, many thanks to you all from the bottom of my heart." The message sent by Lisandro Martinez back to the Manchester United fans. Man United finishes without Lisandro Martinez. United will play a minimum of 11 games between now and the end of the season, with a further 4 to be added if they reach the final of the Europa League and the FA Cup. What's more concerning for the Red Devils now is that there's a gap on a top 4 spot. It's not as tight as it was a couple of months ago. While Newcastle and Tottenham have faltered recently, Aston Villa and Brighton are making late pushes for the Champions League. Remaining fixtures for Manchester United are Nottingham Forest away, Sevilla away, Brighton away in the FA Cup, Tottenham away in the Premier League, Aston Villa at home in the Premier League, Brighton away in the Premier League, West Ham away in the Premier League, Wolves at home in the Premier League, Bournemouth away in the Premier League, Fulham away in the Premier League, and still to be announced, Chelsea at home, with a couple more games in the Europa League to be discussed in that bracket. We have got another one that we're going to add. We're going to read another one which is on about Man United, but it's Bruno Fernandes in back at criticism from Roy Keane and Gary Neville, folks. Manchester United star Bruno Fernandes has hit back at criticism from the likes of former club captain Roy Keane and Gary Neville over his conduct on the pitch. During Man United's 7-0 thrashing by Liverpool last month, Keane suggested that the body language he saw from Fernandes was nothing short of disgraceful. While Neville labelled the number 8's embarrassment at times, and also said that wasn't a captain's performance from a Man United player, and I am sure Erik ten Hag will deal with that. Fernandes had defended his behaviour and has suggested it is the result of his determination to win and the frustration that many boil over if that isn't the case. I think obviously sometimes I go over the line, I know that, but as I say, it can happen with the game and it's difficult to control your emotion, he told Sky Sports. I never tried to disrespect with anyone, obviously. As I say, we are all competitive. We all want to win, and I just think that the way I play, the way I feel the game, the passion I have for the game is the way I feel better. And I feel that I can give the most to my team and to my club. The way I play in the way, and also I've been like that since I was 7 years old. Wow. I don't want to lose any games. I'm really competitive. I always try to push and give the best of myself and always push the others to give the best of themselves. Because if I ask anyone or if I am on the pitch and see someone that I am speaking to them and try and say something, it's because I believe that they can do better than what they're doing. Fernandez has suggested it is a pundit's progression to focus on the negatives. I kind of understand what's going on behind that, but I can't control that. We all know the pundits have to say something, he added. They have to give their work as much as most bad things they say. The most work they get sometimes, they just have to live with that. But for me, it's about my teammates being okay and happy with that. Whenever they are not, I like to tell them, and so I calm myself down. And that's interesting facts. Let's see. On some transfer rumours, folks, for next season. Because this could be entertaining, folks. Man City are ahead of Real Madrid in the race for Jude Bellingham, but they want assurance that he wants to work under Pep Guardiola before competing to a deal. That is said by the Daily Mirror. Liverpool have met with the father of Ryan Gravenberch over a potential summer move after they would withdraw their interest in Bellingham. I'll give you one more, folks. Chelsea are ready to challenge Real Madrid with an extortionate attempt of their own to sign Julio Alvarez, who has recently signed a new contract at Man City. Interesting. Here's another one for you, folks. And I did not expect this one. Brighton are determined not to sell Alexis McAllister for less than 17 mil, though the fee could be driven up by a bidding war between Chelsea, Liverpool and Manchester United. So that's interesting for you folks on that. And now we're going to go to the MLS. St. Louis City snapped their 2-game losing skid with a stalemate win when they piled on a 5-goal within an hour in a 5-1 hammering of Eastern Conference leaders Cincinnati on Saturday. The MLS expansion side has suffered back-to-back losses after creating league history by winning their first 5, but responded at City Park. George Strauss fired in a 3-minute opener from a set piece from Edward Lowe, lashed home a volley in the 39th minute. Kyle Herbert glanced in the Strauss cross in first half stoppage time, and St. Louis did not relent after the break. Nicholas Giochichi added another from Rasmus Elm's class touch in 53rd minute. It was 5 in 57 when Elm rifle strike from outside the box hit the post and deflected in off of keeper Roman Celentano. Sergio Santos grabbed a consolation for Cincy, who were unbeaten coming into this encounter. Duron Asprilla netted an early goal of the year contender with an acrobatic bicycle kick to equalise for Portland Timbers before they raced away with a 4-1 win over Seattle Sounders. Asprilla's brilliant netting in the 71st minute before Portland added a further 3 goals in the final 20 minutes, meaning Seattle slipping from top spot in the West. Sean Sawadisc netted a 90th minute equaliser for Columbus Crew, pinched a 1-1 home draw with 10 men, New England, who moved up to top spot in the Eastern Conference ahead of Cincinnati. Lorenzo Insigne returns from a groin injury as Toronto draw 2-2 with Atalanta. Toronto have drawn 4 games in a row. DC United ended their 6-game winless run with a 1-0 victory over last place Montreal, while New York Red Bull streak without a win extends to 4 games after a 1-1 draw with Houston Dynamo. Keaton Park and Maxim Chanot scored an excellent early goals as New York City move up to 5th in the East with a 2-1 win over Nashville. Austin drew 0-0 with Vancouver Whitecaps, while Orlando City rallied from behind to get past Minnesota United 2-1. Bernardo Kamunga scored an 88-minute winner as Dallas move up to 4th in the West with a 2-1 win over Salt Lake City, while St. Jose's Earthquakes crushed Sporting Kansas City 3-0 with Jeremy Bossidi. Sorry about butchering names, folks. Double. Struggling Charlotte drawed 2-2 with Colorado Rapids, and Philadelphia Union's winless run extends to 5 with a 2-2 draw at Chicago Fire, although they fought back from 2-0 down. And that is your news from the MLS, folks. Checking to see if there is any other new news out. There's some news out, so we'll give you some other news. This is to do with Chelsea. Wesley Fofana held influence on Frank Lampard despite Chelsea's torrent run of form. Wesley Fofana has held the influence of new Chelsea caretaker manager Frank Lampard despite 3 consecutive defeats under his charge. Lampard took over as an interim basis into the end of the 2022-23 season after Graham Potter was sacked, but his appointment wasn't proved the Blues' fortune. Since being given the job, Lampard has overseen 3 defeats on the bounce to Wolves, Real Madrid and Haifa and Brighton at Stamford Bridge on Saturday. Despite the horrid run of results, young defender Fofana had insisted that Lampard had helped restore the players' confidence. He was welcomed back in the best way possible because he's Mr. Frank Lampard. He's a club legend. He told us to get our confidence back and play simple football again, Fofana said. To get back to basics, really? His words moved us all because what needed. We need our confidence back and to realise that we're fighting for a club. We're fighting for a great club. Fofana also took the time to preview the midweek Champions League quarter-final second leg clash with Real Madrid. The Blues lost the first leg 2-0 at the Santiago Bernabeu thanks to goal from Karim Benzema and Marco Asensio, who also be without their standing left-back Ben Chilwell for the second leg due to the sending off on Wednesday evening. The French youngster Fofana had claimed that his team hadn't given up hope on winning the tie, stating that they will draw inspiration from the Blues' previous shock Champions League triumphs in order to do so. Chelsea have already done it after a difficult season before, with a new coach arriving. They won it in 2021, so I think it's possible. It's in the club's DNA. We have a bad season, we know that. Now it's up to us to show that what we're capable of. There is quality in this squad, he added. He's just good. He is just good, Wesley Fofana. But, guys, keep voting in the chat. Are you guys enjoying the stream? Let me know in the chat. Let's see. Well, we're going in to talk about Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard slammed Chelsea fighting and running in Brighton defeat. Chelsea caretaker manager Frank Lampard called his team's performance disappointing on every level following their Premier League defeat at home to Brighton on Saturday. Conor Gallagher gave the struggling Blues an early lead, but the visiting Seagulls dominated the ball, created vastly more chances over the 90 minutes. Goals from either side of half-time from Danny Welbeck and Julio Enciso secured a 2-1 win for them. The result fired Brighton within 4 points of 5th place Tottenham with 2 games in hand. but Chelsea continue to languish in the bottom half of the table, close to the relegation zone than the top four. As it stands, they will match their lowest 11th place finish from the 1995-96 season. Long before billionaires were invested into the club, they finished outside the top half for the first time in 27 years. The better side won. They could have won by more. They played like a team. They're working together for a long time. Give them credit, Lampard tells Sky Sports. But it's not good enough from our point of view. All the basics of football, to fight, to run, those things we were short on. We had to dig ourselves out of that very quickly. We got a big game on Tuesday. There's no point in being too down, but professionally, we have to understand why today went the way it did, and it wasn't good for us. That game on Tuesday against Real Madrid at Stamford Bridge, with Chelsea needing to overcome a 2-goal aggregate deficit against the reigning European champions. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. We are going to have a look and see what other questions there is, because I thought we're going to go and have a chat, and we're going to go on to Serie A, which is Inzaghi seats neutrality as Inter's league woes continue with Monza defeat. Simone Inzaghi acknowledges Inter must show more maturity in their Serie A performance after they missed out on a chance to move into the top four with a 1-0 home loss to Monza. Luca Caladerola, 78th minute finish was enough to give the visitors an upset victory at San Siro and further extend the Nerazzurri's barren league run. Inter have collected just 1 point from 5 Serie A games, damaging their hopes of Champions League qualification. The defeat saw them fail to capitalise on a draw for city rivals Milan against Bologna earlier on Saturday. Speaking afterwards, Inzaghi reflected on another tough result for his side, noting the feels they are doing little wrong but must be smart to find answers. We get nervous. We want this victory, but it's not coming in the league at the moment. A mature team must stay in the game. We need to direct the game. Now we're talking about a defeat that has slowed down any chance of momentum. We have to work on it, and not just up front. After Lisbon, I was calm, but then we have to see how it had gone. But we lost games. That's what we do not deserve to lose. So we still have to be rational. With 8 top 5 games to go and just 2-point gap to third place Roma, Inter's top 4 hopes are far from over. In addition, they still have a second leg of a Champions League quarter-final with Benfica to come this week, having taken a 2-0 victory on the road in Portugal. Inzaghi accepts that there is a tough spell ahead. They both, he and Inter, must be frank in the same aspirations if they are to turn matters round. We're behind in the league, but we have time to recover. Even if there are heavy blows to take, he added. The result is not deserved, but we need to make more of an impact on games. We're the best attacking side in Italy, but now we have difficulties. We have to do a Makupu, or myself, as a coach. That's interesting from Inzaghi. He said that they need to do better in attack and do better in defence and do better like that. So we're going to have a look at the next page and see what else we can put for you folks. We're going to do... I think we're going to look at some shot results, and the other one of which is a shot result, which is Thomas Tuchel in their Bayern Munich's 1-1 draw with Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga yesterday. Bayern Munich missed a chance to fire up their fans ahead of the clash with Man City on Wednesday, according to Thomas Tuchel. Thomas Tuchel described Bayern Munich's 1-1 Bundesliga draw with Hoffenheim on Saturday as a big step backwards. Benjamin Pavard gave the host an early lead at the Allianz Arena, yet Andrea Kramrich sealed a point for Hoffenheim with a wonderful free kick in the 71st minute. Despite the setback, Bayern still retained a 2-point advantage at the Bundesliga summit after Borussia Dortmund could only draw 3-3 with 10 men at Stuttgart. The result follows a heavy defeat to Man City in the Champions League quarter-final first leg in midweek, and Tuchel was left frustrated at his side's inability to get fans back on side ahead of the second leg on Wednesday. We didn't have enough speed, too fewer change of pace, and we made mistakes, he said. We didn't get any security in. We started to defend carelessly. The display today was not enough. It was a disappointment for me. We have a lot of room for improvement today. It's extremely amazing because I feel the energy in training, but it wasn't there on the field. We have to improve it first, but it's definitely a big step backwards. Today was the moment to inspire and fire and confidence. We didn't succeed at all. It's going to be difficult on Wednesday anyway in the second leg against City. It's not going to get any easier now. We missed the opportunity to put ourselves and the fans in the mood to believe in it at all. Bayern midfielder Joshua Kimmich endured a frustrating game, losing possession a team high 16 times and was at a loss to explain why Bayern struggled so much. Today was an absolutely bad performance for us. We knew that, he said. After a 3-0 defeat, you would exactly think that you would want to show a reaction, especially in the Bundesliga, where it's a very tight and where we need every point. I can't explain why we put in such a performance on the pitch today. It lacked concentration, recklessness, and we're not really there. We played without energy, and then you can't win either. We all know that we need a complete different performance against City. We know we can do it too, but we have to put it on the pitch. And that's from Joshua Kimmich and Thomas Tuchel after their 1-1 draw yesterday against Hoffenheim. We are now going to go on to the game, which was the 3-3 between Stuttgart and Borussia Dortmund. After conceding late on in their 3-3 draw with Stuttgart, Eden Tarek had lambasted Borussia Dortmund's result as brutally disappointing. Let's go. Eric Tarek called Borussia Dortmund's 3-3 draw with Stuttgart absolutely brutally embarrassed as they missed a chance to move level on points with Bayern Munich at the Bundesliga summit. The black and yellow looked on course to join Bayern at the top of the table when Gio Reyna struck in the second half injury time at the Mercedes-Benz Arena. But a 97th minute from Silas Katoma Mumba instead saw them drop 2 crucial points in the title race against 10-men hosts. It is the latest capitulation in a topsy-turvy season for Dortmund, and Tuchel does not hold back in the scattering assessment of the performance at the final whistle. We missed a huge chance at the team. He told Sky Sports Germany, this is brutally disappointing. It is hard for me to find the words to explain what had happened. We thought with that loss at home to Werder Bremen, we had already experienced the worst part of the season. But this tops it again. We were lucky in the early stages, if we were honest. We were almost conceding 4 goals against a team that were outnumbered. Dortmund had a man advantage for an hour of the game after Stuttgart defender Konstantinos Marapanos was dismissed for a second yellow card in the first half. Their inability to capitalise on Bayern's own slip-up after a home draw with Hoffenheim leaves them trailing the Bavarian Giants by 2 points in the Bundesliga title race with 6 to play. Dortmund hosts Eintracht Frankfurt on Saturday coming up. See if there's any other results that we could have a look at, because I want to see from this weekend's fixtures, just to see if there's. We're going to do one more bit for you folks. And then we'll have a look. we'll do this one. This is the final bit of it. We're going to be doing another bit of the Bundesliga with Milan. A much-changed Milan side who were held to a draw by Bologna, who took the lead with just 33 seconds on the clock. A weakened Milan side was held to a 1-1 draw in Serie A by Bologna at Stadio Renato dell'Aria, with their focus clearly on the second leg of the Champions League quarter-final tie with Napoli. Stefan Pioli's side made 10 changes and fell behind to a Nicolas Sansoni strike inside the opening minute. The early goal sparked some life into Milan's understudies, with Tommaso Pagega fired strike levelled the scores before half-time. Neither side could find a winner in the second half, with honours even and a result Bologna will be happy with. Milan heavily rotated with the opening leg win against Napoli. Only Mike Mignon retains a spot between the posts. He was picked the ball out of the back of the net after just 33 seconds when Sansoni met Stefan Pioc's low cross and smashed home. The visitors' response strongly dominated possession, with Anthony Rebic heading in straight at Luka Sporotnik before the Bologna shot stopper was forced into a diving save from Alessandro Florenzi's curling free kick. Milan equalised came 5 minutes before the break. Bologna unable to clear their lines properly, and Pogega unleashed a firing shot that cannoned off the inside of the left hand post and into the back of the net. And much quieter second half saw limited clear-cut chances for both sides, clear-cut opportunities for both sides, with Milan's attempt to pepper Sporotnik's goal seeing a number of efforts fail to provide any sort of threat to the Polish keeper. Rebic came close to an equaliser, came close to a winner, even though skill any chance instead saw an attempt cleared strike his head but wide of the mark, much to the relief of the home side. What does it mean for Milan's minds elsewhere? With a slender 1-0 advantage against Napoli in the Champions League quarter-final, it was no surprise that Milan rested all their outfield starters and were not at their best as a result. While Bologna's winless streak against Milan now stands at 15 matches, the hosts pick up only a third draw in that sequence, losing the other 12, and it could be the result that comes back to Milan. Though Pioli's focus is on this season's European campaign, Milan can now finish the weekend outside the top 4, having handed an encouragement to both Inter and Atalanta. What's next for both sides? Milan will look ahead to Tuesday Champions League tie away at Napoli, while Bologna are back in action on Friday against Verona. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the very first episode of the JamCast. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification when we post. The next episode will be coming out on a week where I have got nothing on. Not a lot of watch-alongs coming on. So I'll see you then for episode 2. Like, subscribe.